At home, it was always just me and my mom was always one of those women who liked to take care of her body, take care of herself, to work out, so she always went to the gym. I never really liked that vibe. Actually, I never really cared about it. But my mom kept telling me, like, hey, honey, take care of yourself, you know? So there I was, around 16 years old. I said, girl, I'm so skinny, I'm gonna join the gym so I can get a great body. I went to work out with my mom. At first, I didn't like working out, but then I decided to start training and thought going to the gym was cool. There's a male trainer there, and I'd even dare say he's kind of like a father figure, you know? The father I never had, a nice guy, a counselor, a friend, always there, really good friends with my mom too. And then between this trainer, who's my mom's friend, and her, there's another guy who's a mutual friend of both of them. And he saw me there at the gym training, you know? He saw me at the gym, he came up to me, started talking to me, kind of just normal, you know? All right. He walked me to my door, and I was like, okay, cool, you know? And then I started to notice that he wanted to be around more. And I even mentioned it to a friend of mine, right? I said, like, I met this guy at the gym. He keeps trying to talk to me, wants to walk me home. He's a friend of my mom's. And my friend said to me, girl, this guy is interested in you. I was like, really? Do you think so? No, I thought to myself, it's okay if he's interested, right? We'll have time to get to know each other. I just started going to the gym. So I got home, went to talk to my mom, and my mom repeated what my friend had told me. Look, he's interested in you. And I said, okay, interesting. But she seemed kind of happy about it. And she forgot a very important detail that things were moving too fast. Things need to go slowly, no rush, you know? All right. The day went by, and he started using the excuse of teaching me how to ride a motorcycle. So I combined business with pleasure and said, okay, right? All right. I started learning how to ride a motorcycle. I spent the day with him there trying to learn how to ride a motorcycle. And then there was a moment when, after the practice, he took me home and he kissed me. And then when he kissed me, I thought to myself, wow, okay, this means that now we've started seeing each other. So now we're going to get to know each other a little more. But, you know, when you start dating someone, the relationship starts to change from friends to dating and from dating to boyfriend and girlfriend. The next day, I'm at the gym, and the guy shows up with a huge bouquet of flowers, with a ring and everything, asking me to be his girlfriend. Girl, it was like this. First, I was caught by surprise. It was emotional. The whole gym cheered. My mom was touched because she really liked the guy. Everyone, like, approving. He apparently is a really good guy. Even I got emotional too, you know? Like, I got emotional. Wow, a guy declaring himself with flowers, right? We expect these things, especially at our age, right? I thought it was really nice, and I agreed to be in a relationship with him. So, like, we started dating, but I felt like things were moving too fast. But okay, I kind of just went along with it, you know? And during that time, there was a day when something happened that caught my attention. He came to me telling me he was going to travel and inviting me to go with him, but like it was really last minute when he invited me. He was already leaving, there was no way I could go, and he knew there was no way I could go. But what bothered me the most about this wasn't that he invited me at the last minute and I couldn't go. It's that he invited his friend ahead of time. So, with his friend, he made sure to organize everything so it would work out for his friend to go. But with me, it was last minute, which in my mind, I feel like he did it on purpose so I wouldn't go. Of course, I was bothered by that situation. Of course, I didn't like it because you could tell that like something shady was going on, but I kind of kept thinking about it. He went on the trip, and I spent the whole trip thinking about it. In fact, I even ignored him a bit on WhatsApp. I was colder, kept more to myself, and was more thoughtful, you know? So I went to talk to my friend because I was like 17 years old, right? Finishing high school. And there was a boy at my school who was closer to my age with a mindset more similar to mine. And I liked him, you know? I was attracted to him. I wanted to get with him. So my friend said to me, hey girl, let's be honest. You accepted this relationship request without loving this guy. You don't really like him that much. So, like, you guys move too fast. I think it's normal for you to feel confused. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I don't think it's right for me to be in a relationship when I don't even really like the person and I'm wanting someone else. In my mind, the day I started dating, I thought I would be in love with my boyfriend. You know, when you're dating and really like your boyfriend, think he's handsome and put him on a pedestal? That's what I expected from a relationship, like an amazing guy that I'm in love with, and not someone I don't have that desire for, that love. So it was kind of like putting two and two together. I thought, I'm already bothered by this trip. I'm already bothered by how fast things are going, and now I don't even feel any desire for him. When he gets back, we'll talk. He got back from his trip, came over to my place. I called him into the bedroom, and we started talking. And then I started talking to him. I explained the whole situation to him, not about the other guy, that I had desire for someone else, but about how quickly everything happened between the two of us, you know? And then when I said the word breakup, this guy started feeling sick. He cried, he made me cry. It was really heavy. It was a really intense conversation, you know? It was painful. It felt like we had been together for years and were destroying a marriage. That's how heavy the breakup was. And then he left. And as soon as he left, my mom, she came at me really hard, telling me that if I had broken up just to mess around with other men, I was very mistaken. She got mad at me and said, if he comes back and you get back together with him, I'll beat you up. And you know what she did the next day? She took him and went to my house and brought him in and said to him, I brought him here to talk because she doesn't know what she's doing. Telling me that I didn't know what I was doing, you know? Anyway, we ended up talking. We ended up slipping back into that vibe with him talking and everything. Anyway, we ended up getting back together, you know? And it was something, guys, that I used to criticize so much because I had idealized in my head that the day I had a relationship, it would be to have a real relationship and that I wanted to be in love and married to that person. And I always thought it was ugly. I always criticized this on and off thing, yo yo relationships, fighting, breaking up, separating, messing around, getting back together. And what did I end up doing? The same thing. Returning to the relationship, you know, I'm already doing what I once criticized. But okay, we got back together. And when we did, we kind of, I'll be honest, I was just dragging this relationship along. But then things started happening that were kind of unbearable. I'll give you an example. When I was 16, I found out that I had an ovarian cyst. From that moment on, I was going to have to change some things in my routine, some things in my diet, you know, to take care of this condition. Plus, there was medication. And one thing I noticed about him is that he didn't ask me a single question about it, you know, like he didn't offer to buy medicine. He didn't offer to take care of me at any point. So I kept thinking about that, you know, like, wow, that's really weird. That's really strange. Like, how can someone be in a relationship and not care, especially when the other person just got news about a health condition? No matter how simple it is, we have to care, right? But, okay. Another thing that really got to me, and honestly, this just broke me, is that I'm in love with BTS. I love BTS. I'm a BTS fan. And BTS is coming to Brazil this year. And wow, I was so happy. Just so you know, we spent Christmas together, we spent New Year's Eve together. Then this year came around, and I went to talk to him. I said to him, wow, BTS is coming to Brazil. I really wanted to go to the BTS concert. Too bad I don't have any money. But deep down, I feel a bit of hope, you know? Who knows, maybe I'll go to the concert. I really wanted to go. He just looked at me and said, do you really think you're going to the concert? How? Do you think it's easy for you to go to concerts? Life isn't easy, you know. Man, that got to me. Oh, wow, but it's just a simple comment. If the person doesn't support you, and it's about a concert by a singer you love, how is he going to support you in life? And what if it was a dream? What if I wanted to get into a college in another city? What if I wanted to accept a job offer he doesn't agree with? Do you understand? Even though it was such a small thing, for me, it wasn't that small. For me, it carried more weight. And then this whole trip thing came up again. It was a trip he had absolutely no reason to go on. That's the truth. And he really insisted on going. And once again, he didn't take me with him. Like he left me behind, you know? And I was like, how does someone want to have a relationship like this? She travels without me, does things last minute, and doesn't check if I'm doing okay with my health condition. She belittles a dream that, honestly, only someone who's a BTS fan and dreams of going to their concert will understand the pain of being disregarded, you know? Having your dream dismissed. as if I couldn't achieve something that honestly isn't impossible, you know? So all of this just kept adding up. And then when he went on that trip, I started thinking really hard because I was already about to do something stupid, you know? I was already at my limit. I decided to take that boy out of school. I decided to take him out of my life when I decided to get back with him, you know? Really get him out of my way. At least I tried to do that. So I was very sure, I was very fair. I was very loyal. I was very honest during that time. But these little things were really bothering me. I was actually about to explode. I couldn't take this relationship anymore. When he returned from his trip, I went to the front door and started talking to him. I spoke with him and explained everything clearly, telling him it wasn't possible. As you can see from what I've said, there was no way to continue the relationship. And then I broke up with him. He left and I went back inside the house. Unlike the first breakup, I decided not to tell my mom. Do you think it helped? No, it didn't. The next day, she came at me with everything, arguing with me. And believe it or not, guys, she came after me. My mom, she came after me. And she hit me, girl. She hit me in my face. And she had this habit of taking my phone away from me, you know? Like I was already grown up. I wasn't a child anymore for her to take my phone away from me. She took my phone away from me and even slapped me in the face. She told me that if she saw me with any kind of man, if she saw me flirting, if she saw me smiling, if she saw any guy at our door, she would beat me up, that she wouldn't accept it. Because I didn't know what I was doing, that he was a decent guy, that he was an amazing guy. But this whole story, back in the first breakup, I believed it. When you're in your first breakup, right? The guy asked me to be his girlfriend with a ring, with a bouquet, and I broke up with him. Then he was crying, and my mom was saying that I wouldn't find a man like him. It was my first breakup. I really believed that maybe I was making a huge mistake, and that's why I went back. Now, this second time, I was really firm, really decided, and I didn't love him enough to keep the relationship. What I don't understand about this whole thing is why my mom defends him so much, you know? Long story short, I'll stop here. I'm going to have a birthday. I'm turning 18 at the end of the year now. I have a friend who's one of my best friends from my course. He confessed to me. He told me he was in love with me. In a way, I'm starting to like him too. He doesn't want to have casual things. He's a really good guy. And I want, to have a chance. Who knows? I don't know. To get to know him better since he seems nice. I think a relationship could be interesting. But how am I going to bring this person into my house if my mom, you know why she actually hit me? I was leaving school, and an old friend of mine from church saw me. So we started talking, then he walked with me from the school gate to my house, and my mom was outside, and my mom saw me with him. And my mom slapped me in the face and took my phone, just because I was talking to an old friend from church who had nothing to do with me. You know, saying that if she saw me around, she would beat me up. And in fact, she did hit me. So how am I supposed to introduce the guy from my class as my boyfriend when I know my mom is going to reject him? Knowing that my mom might come after me. She might hurt me. She'll keep comparing him to my ex. And you know what she does? She meets up with him. She posts pictures with him. She posts a picture and captions it, "My son-in-law," you know? She pushes away any man who gets close to me. And honestly, I don't understand it. I don't understand why, you know? So I'm really just venting here. Yeah, thinking that maybe when I turn 18, things might get better at home. But it's really complicated knowing I was in a relationship with my mom's friend. And because I had that relationship with him, I kind of lost all the freedom I had before him. Because my mom was always pretty laid back. My mom was always a cool mom. And out of nowhere, after this guy, she started taking that freedom away from me. And it's hard to lose your freedom after you've already gotten used to it, you know? And this affection, this loyalty, this love she has for him as a son-in-law, sometimes even forgetting that I'm her daughter, you know? And it becomes a very delicate relationship. Sometimes I think that when I get into a relationship, it can't be around her. And honestly, I'm afraid to introduce someone to her and have her do something, make a comment, discredit me, and end up destroying my future relationship because of that past relationship with the friend she wanted for me. What do you all think about this? What do you think I should do? Hi, my Mequetes, how are you all doing? Girl, reading this story gives me the feeling that the mother imagined a relationship for her daughter that, deep down, she actually wanted for herself. And seeing you living the dream she wishes she had makes her act this way, because that's the only explanation. Even because of this love and loyalty that she's showing more to outsiders than to her own family, right? Because when she embraces someone who isn't part of her family more and ends up rejecting her own daughter or taking away good things, punishing her daughter for being free, for being independent, for having self-love, for making a decision based on real things. Because I didn't see anything wrong in this story. She didn't love him from the beginning. She thought the relationship was moving too fast, but even so, she faced it. She accepted it. She allowed herself to live through that period, to understand if that love would develop, if that love would grow, if that love would take up space. And in fact, it didn't. It really didn't grow. And that's okay, you know? What's not okay is that her mother doesn't see this situation. So, there are two options. Either only time will be able to resolve this situation with plenty of time and lots of conversation, or you actually talk to your mother about this subject. You know? I don't know if you talk, if you bring this up at school, if you've tried to talk to her about it, if you've opened up to her, if you tell her, Mom, I miss you. I miss when you were my mom. I miss when you looked out for me. I miss when you were loyal to me. I'm your daughter, right? And you're my mom. And, you know, many people will come and go in your lives, but in the end, it's just the two of you who will remain. So it's really important to understand that, right? Understand that even when it comes to your future boyfriend, in the end, he can't get too attached to people outside when he has you right there with him. So I get really sad to know that, but I think she is idealizing it a little, you know? Maybe she failed in her own relationships and saw this romantic side, this romantic man that you had, and if it had been with her, she would have really valued it. You know? So she believes you don't know what you're doing because maybe back in her time she also didn't value someone. I don't know. But she's definitely confusing an episode from her own life with this episode from your life. But that's her problem, and she needs to work it out with herself. She needs to go to therapy. She needs to talk to a friend. She needs to work through this situation inside herself so she can set you free. I'm not saying free to go out and do whatever you want irresponsibly. No, I mean free to choose who you want to be with, right? The time you come in, the time you leave, who comes in, who leaves, especially because you're becoming a woman and you'll also need, you know, that support and strength as a person. So the advice I give you is to try to talk to her and even suggest that she seek help to change her behavior, you know? I don't know how you're going to say this, but maybe, who knows, God will put an answer in your path so you can have wisdom and discernment in this choice and on this journey. And you? Have you ever had a mother who fell in love with your boyfriend, right, with her son-in-law? Did you break up and your mother can't handle it and prefers your boyfriend over you? Send me your story. And if you want to watch the videos early here on my channel, come join as a member. The link is here in the description. Share your story on the channel's stories at historiascanal.com.br. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Kisses. See you in the next video.